Hello shooters, TI here. Thanks for watching Ty Iron Channel. This episode of TI Goes to School is the FNS versus the FN 509. Is the 509 really just a 2.0 version of the FNS, or is it a different handgun? How do they compare one to another? Let's get into it. Okay shooters, we're going to put the 509 and compare it against the FNS. There's obvious direct lineage between these two handguns. So we're going to start off with the receiver. For one, the FNS is just a couple ounces lighter than the 509, not that big a deal. The FNS is just a couple of thousandths thinner. This is 1 inch 315. This is 1 inch 300, so 15 thousandths is all that separates them in width, which is really nothing. So let's just go right into the receiver. The 509 is superior when it comes to the ergonomics of the receiver. See how this is kind of scalloped here? And this is more radius than it is on the FNS here. Notice on the FNS, watch where my thumb gets to. See where my thumb gets to there? Because it's wider back here than it is on the 509. They kind of radius that in and made these corners here a little bit more radius, and it's a little bit thinner here, so I can get my hand in there deeper. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but it feels better than the FNS, no doubt about it. I like the texturing they've done here. I like the texturing they've done here. It's still nice and slick back there. So on a high-speed draw, I can still get what I need. It's nice, just like the FNS. It's nice and undercut and radiused on the bottom here. But this just seemed to be a little bit more smoothed out than the FNS does. They've definitely done a little bit of homework on the receiver end of it there. So good job to FN for making those improvements to the receiver there. The next thing is the texturing. The texturing is a little bit different, which to me is not that big a deal. I like the texturing on the FNS also. As you can see, it's just a little bit different on the front strap and the back strap. And it's a little bit different on the sides. Definitely different up here, no question about that. And a little bit different on the front strap. The front strap is the same as the back strap on both pistols. So the 6 is there really with regard to texturing. This one feels better in the hand because of the way they've designed the receiver, but with regard to texturing, pretty much 6 is there. So let's go to the magazine. The magazine on the FNS has a little bit more area here to grab onto with one-handed manipulation, so I'm going to give the edge there to the FNS. The FN 509 still has a lip there to grab onto, so it's still good to go there. The FNS definitely has a wider cavern for the magazine well. No doubt about that. The magazine well on the FNS comes out wider than the 509 series. So now we're talking about the magazines. They're basically identical with regards to the construction, with regards to where this thing is here that activates the magazine catch release. The finish is different on the 509. This is the FNS. This is the 509. This is some kind of, I don't know what this is, some kind of coating of some type. It's got that, that old-timey look to it, but they're virtually identical magazine bodies. Where it comes different is the base plates here. Notice that let me get my pointer. The base plate on the 509 has this shelf there that is different than the base plate on the FNS. So consequently, here is the FNS handgun, FNS magazine. 509 magazine fits and works in the FNS. 509 magazine, obviously it's going to work. But because the FNS magazine base plate doesn't have that cutout, it won't go all the way in and lock into the 509. So if you have a bunch of 509 magazines, they will work in both handguns. In order to get the FNS magazine to work in both handguns, you got to switch out the magazine floor plates. Okay, moving on. The magazine release is different with both models here. It's the exact same location and the same general outline, but as you can see, this is a different shape. I like the shape of the 509 better than I like the FNS. For one, these scallops help. This is not scalloped, this is scalloped. The scallops help, and this checkering, I just like it better. I don't know in the real world if one's going to work better than the other, because this one works absolutely fine as is, but this, the 509 just works better. Okay, so now we're coming to the magazine catch. No, not the magazine, the slide catch on the FNS, and the slide catch on the 509. They look to be identical. They look to be identical. But what the FNS takes the cake on here is it's fenced all the way around. This one's just fenced on the front and on the bottom. So consequently, when I put my thumb on here, there's no way I can activate that magazine catch. The magazine is going to catch all the time. I can do that with my thumb all day long. If I do that with the 509, for one, since I get a deeper purchase into the gun because they contoured the back of it, my thumb comes along farther. I can very easily stop the slide from locking back. So, for my in my estimation, the FNS is superior to the 509 in that regard. If you have thumbs as long as mine or longer, this could be an issue with the way that you shoot. So the FNS takes the cake there. Note that the FNS has a larger takedown lever than the 509 does. So I think the 509 takes the boat there. There's no reason to have a takedown lever this big, so slimming it up some is a good thing. The sights that come with the 509 are definitely superior to the sights that come stock with the FNS. This is the stock rear sight. On the stock rear sight, this does slope forward. I had a machinist mill off that, so I have a good sight to use one-handed manipulations. So the stock sights that come with the FNS are not even in the same league as the stock sights that come with the 509. Accuracy with the guns is they're both very accurate. They both have very solid lockup. There is some different contouring on the FNS versus the 509. The 509 looks more, I don't know, like the Beretta does, the Beretta APX. This has its own kind of flavor. It doesn't matter to me. These both have good cocking serrations front and rear, so it's not that big a deal. I do happen to like the slide better on the 509, but that's just aesthetics. There's from a practical standpoint, they're both just good. So let's take these things down a little bit and look at the guts here to see if this is a actual design change or if this is more like a 2.0 change here. And I'm sure by looking at the outside you can pretty much guess that that we're going to have a 2.0 situation. If you look at these, you know, this locking block up here is just a little bit different, but everything else in here is probably interchangeable. I haven't tested it to see, but it looks to be the same parts internally, which makes sense because the trigger pull on these is identical. 5 pounds 13 ounces for both handguns is the trigger pull. So there's the inside of the receiver. Let's look at the slides. And if you look at the slides, they look to be, with regards to how these internals are here, they look to be nearly identical. Note that the 509 does have a different recoil system than the FNS does. But let's put it back together. Okay, folks, shooters, I tried to put the slide of the 509 on the FNS frame and vice versa. While the slides will go on, they will not work. The slides are not interchangeable. They are not interchangeable. So let's go shoot these things, and I'll be right back. Got to give a shout out to Mike K for letting me borrow his 509 to do this video. And it just illustrates that FN has been building excellent firearms for a long time. They continue to build excellent firearms. The FNS and the 509 are just good, solid firearms. I'm not sure if I could really tell the difference if you blindfolded me and have me shoot one or the other. The 509 does feel a bit better in the hand, but they shoot nearly identically. Both of them are accurate. Both of them have they're flat shooting. They're good, solid guns. They're fun to shoot. You can't go wrong with either one of these. They're both solid performers. 509 does edge out the FNS just a little bit, but I would expect that. In fact, I actually call the 509 the FNS 2.0. Thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate it. Appreciate all the shares, likes, and subscribes. If you got any comments, post them down below. And as always, ensure that your training and your practice is preparing you for the real world, your real world, and not for the fantasy land of the shooting range. And have a nice day.